Look at that, eh? Look at that for £25. Now, if anybody wants to order one, you can do it through my TikTok channel, and £2.50 goes towards the campaign. Who'd have thought it, eh? But they're good, aren't they? Oh, it's not following me now. You're alright as long as you don't wave at it. If you wave at it, you're in a mess. It stops there. Following me. That is 20 on quick. You get your tripod and then you get that. That at the bottom is your sense thing. Where's Stefan gone? Come on then, Stefan. That was a bit harsh. There's no fade there, was there? Right. So, shall we start?
You've got 3 minutes.
Right, so just to reiterate then, if anybody has ordered t-shirts, just let us know, pre-ordered t-shirts. If you want to order a t-shirt, there is a new design. Jeff's got the new design, haven't you, Jeff? Show everyone the new design. Yeah, all eyes on Jeff. And then at the back, show me at the back. Yeah. So they are, we've altered them a little bit for obvious reasons. Has everybody signed in just so we can keep a track of numbers?
Just initials.
Just initials will do. Just because apparently it's just me and some cardboard, this campaign. So obviously we want to make sure it's not just me and some cardboard. I think that's just rude about all of you. But it could be ruder, because it could have been the lowest common denominator of society. Yes. Hands up if you're Maria Provost. No. Maria Provost's not here.
Still looking.
He's still looking for Maria. Believe me. We have found Maria, believe us. So that'll be an interesting one. You'll be cute. In fact, we could actually sell tickets for the reveal to go towards the Grammy campaign. I think you'd all pay, because the amount of messages I've had saying, who is Maria? We'll just leave it at that for tonight, I think. But any ideas is always welcome. What's the matter with Melanie? She's clapping with excitement.
Because Aunt Lucy's got glasses on.
Oh, I thought it was something to do with Provost. Pop-off, not Provost. No, I put an R in it.
Paddington, I'm sorry.
I dissolve a problem like Maria. I don't know. Well. Oh yeah, don't forget that we have got one good Maria in here. And another good Marie who's helping you out. Where is she? She's on the card store. She's there, lot, away for Marie.
To be fair though, we're really little pop-off stuff.
Yeah. Oh God, look, we've got some folk. Look at this, eh? How many? Ilkeston Gnome is watching. Yes. Andrew Jones is watching. Catherine is watching. Elaine Calladine. Oh, Lorna's watching. Yeah. You see? Who'd have thought it, eh? Miss Williams is not currently online. Kevin, but I'm sure he'll be watching. He ought to be, yes, Kevin, he ought to be.
I think you'll find it's probably under a pop-off name.
Oh, well, I did not say that. Nobody said that.
I said under A.
Under A?
A, like
one of the many fake profiles. Again, ask yourself why. Right, let's make a start then. Is it 7 o'clock?
Yes, 7 o'clock.
We're on a tight schedule. So, I'll get my glasses on. Oh. Right, so welcome. If you don't know, I'm Melissa, and this is
Stefan.
otherwise known as the nutcase and the sensible one. Don't forget that, the nutcase and the sensible one. If only they knew. So, we will be having the draw for the free badge. That has been a raffle. And we've also already talked about who is provost. We have invited the trustees of the building. We haven't had any response this time. We've invited Vision. We haven't had any response this time. We have invited Lindsay Farnsworth MP. Stefan, do you want to read that now or a bit later?
I'll do that later.
We'll do that later, but as you can see, no security guards, so no Lindsay Farnsworth. Or police, in fact, because obviously we have to have a police guard every time O comes to Heanor. Well, look here. We have got. Do you want to do the councillors in the room now, or is that later?
No.
Do that.
Right.
That's me done.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I thought
Is that one for me?
I think so.
Stand.
I'll just sit here and do it. It's a bit easier.
We'll fall out of that.
Okay, I'll borrow that in a minute. Just before we start, I think we need to say thanks to the people that have helped make this evening happen. So, first and foremost, Andy and Izzy at the bar from Shipley Working Men's Club. So, thank you. Obviously to all of you for taking the time and effort to turn out this evening. But I want to say a bit about the Working Men's Club here. It's a fantastic club. And we've had lots of support from this venue when we've done these events. And you'll see on your tables, you've got the opportunity to join up as a member. You've got loads of events on here. So this Friday, 3rd of October, you've got a rock and roll night with Danny Reno. And if you're into Northern Soul, that's on every 3rd Friday of the month at 7:30. So there's a poster by the door and that tells you about all the events. If you want to join, and this is, I think, Andy, this is the cheapest beer in town, isn't it, by a country mile. It's £6 a year and then £4 a year after. So it's really good value. So do support this community venue, because if we don't support community venues like these, they won't exist in the future. But if you're watching online, if you're looking at coming to Northern Soul or one of the events, we're Millbank, Marlpool, DE757DQ. I want to thank John, aka Randy Man, who records our meetings and posts them on his YouTube channel. So thank you, John. And we should say that John and his wife Janet have recently celebrated their silver wedding anniversary. 60. Oh. Well, congratulations and thanks again, John, for recording.
Wait till here he is, Kevin. You
Well,
know what anniversaries.
I want to obviously thank all our volunteers who are around the room, so the people you've seen signing you in this evening, our friends managing the various sorts of stalls around, so this all contributes to the crowdfunding campaign, and as I said, obviously you. We also want to thank our international supporters. Believe it or not, we've got a supporter in Japan, a supporter in New Zealand and a supporter in Canada. And we did say at the last meeting that the person who's furthest away will get a free badge. Now, all we know from the data we've got is somebody in Japan, somebody in New Zealand, and somewhere in Canada. And they're quite big countries. We know where the person in New Zealand lives. They live in Wellington. But Japan and Canada, we don't know. So if those people are watching, if they want to private message their details, we'll send their free badges across to Japan, Canada, and hello from everybody here in a beautifully sunny Heanor this evening. I'm going to hand over to Melissa now for the petition update.
Right, so we started off big with the petition and then we have, if we're honest, got a little bit waylaid. However, the petition is very important, mainly because Parliament have altered the amount of signatures you need on a petition to lobby Parliament with said petition. So it used to be 25,000. I think it's gone up now. I think it might even be 100, but I need to double check that. 100,000. So we've got a lot of work to do, people. We will, because obviously the radius of this grammar school is massive, as it was when it was a college and when it was a grammar. So we'll be going out to all the other towns. But like I say, please print out or take a petition sheet. I think have we got some here?
We've got petition sheets.
Got a petition sheet. Yeah. So Darius has got nothing. And posters to put in your window. I'm popping here anyway. But yes. So even so, we have not done bad. But again, we have to admit it's gone a little bit. But you know why? I'm just going to say it now.
Yeah.
It's because we need more help. This campaign is massive, and it's massive because of what we've undug. We've clawed it out, and there's a lot of stuff coming out. And like we keep saying, this is not just happening in Heanor. This is not just happening in our borough. It's not just happening in Derbyshire County Council or Derby City. Look at the marketplace in Derby, the new market hall. They're having the same problems that we are. However, it's not. This is a national scandal. Watch everything like Hawke. Cotmanay has just got 20 million. I hope that they actually get that 20 million. But we are watching everything like a hawk. But it's big and we need help. And we will lobby Parliament. And what we'll lobby Parliament for, which has always been our aim since day one, 4 years ago, is more regulations for town councils. Because unfortunately, there ain't no regulation. So you've got party politics and you have got big sums of money and they are not properly regulated. So every time we try and bring something up, it's not in anybody's jurisdiction. So, getting back to the petition. We have got the equivalent to 11.4% of this town, which is not bad going.
Of voting population.
Of voting population. It's only voting population that can sign the petition anyway, because obviously you've got to be above a certain age. So that's quite significant, we think, and this is obviously a few months in, but we're in it for the long haul, as you know. So our former mayor, Paul Jones, was elected to the town council on just 449 votes in 2023. He wants to be in charge of the council again, but he isn't here. Hands up if you're Paul Jones. Yeah, he ain't here. So
just by way of context, that microphone's not working, so I have to use yours, Melissa, sorry. Yeah, so that 11.4% is equivalent to 1,553 names we've got on the petition. So to give it into context, you've got, there's not a single politician in either the town council or borough council that got elected on anywhere near those figures. So it's quite interesting. We're going to give the opportunity for the borough and town councillors that are here this evening to stand up and introduce themselves, and it's great to see some of our borough and town councillors here because they are our community representatives.
So, Chris Ennis-Williams, Kev, this is one for you. He got in with 451 votes. And again, they want to be in the charge of the council again, but they are not here. The biggest issue for 40 years in this town, and, well, how many town councillors have we got here? Hands up. Malk, Maria, Tony, Stephen. Four?
4 out of 21.
Again, the biggest thing that's happened to us in 40 years. I'll leave you to work out if that's a good show or not. Yes, Kevin, you go ahead.
For town council.
For town.
Is that from his very
Heanor.
My real question is, how does someone with 451 vote
Well, that is town.
So that's not.
Yeah, that's town. So that is obviously Heanor and Moscow. Yeah, so borough is a different amount, but we can find that. It won't be a lot.
Which ward votes for it then, on the town council?
So it's all changed, hasn't it, the last time? So it's Heanor East and Heanor West.
Is it Heanor West?
It'll be Losco, I think.
Or is it Heanor?
He's Losco.
Losco.
Yeah, it's Losco.
You can live, as
No,
long as you
borough.
live within 3 miles, as long as you live within 3 miles, you can stand in.
Okay, so yeah, they're the rules. So you can stand, but the point is we've got 4 town councillors here. Is it would the town councillors just be willing to just stand up and say hello, I am, because it's a great opportunity for them to introduce themselves to you. So if we work sort of clockwise around the room.
Andrew, hi, I'm Marie Cresswell. I'll be the East Council.
Thank you, Marie. Great, thank you.
Tony Crowley, I'm Gloucester, the town council Gloucester. Sorry, Gloucester Ward.
Thank you, Stephen. Right, and Trevor's. I see. Your borough. Okay. So we've got 4 borough councillors as well. So Trevor Holmes. So Trevor, we've sort of introduced you back and forth there. So Trevor's at the back. He's one of our 4 borough councillors. We've got Janet Ward, who sits on Ian, isn't here. We've got Nick Bezick. Sorry, we've got 2 borough councillors because Stephen's also a borough councillor.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 out of our borough councillors here. We've also got Matt Jones, who was voted in, and he's not here either. So it's quite interesting that we've got something that's got such a huge amount of community interest, but our local representatives aren't wholly represented here. But again, it's great to see the councillors who are here this evening. So it begs the question, when over 1,500 names have been signed to keep the grammar community controlled, why have we only got 4 out of 21 town councillors here and only 2 out of 5 borough councillors here? So I'm going to hand over to Melissa now to give you an update on the crowdfund.
Right, so the crowd fund launched 5 weeks ago. Obviously, we've not really kicked in the fundraising yet. You can see in the corner that is fundraising. Obviously, your badges are £3.50. If you give a bit more, we get a bit more. The t-shirts, again, if you pay 14 quid, we get a couple of quid off that. So it all helps. But we are doing the Christmas disco. We're having an old school grammar disco. And there, yes, Leslie, I know, I can't bear, I know, I'm so excited. So anyway, what day is that, the 3rd?
5th of December.
The 5th of December, and it will be £5 a ticket. Oh no, it isn't.
12.
It's the 12th. Anyway, it's the 12th. Oh, well,
Elvis on the
young
5th.
Elvis, don't miss young Elvis. Apparently he's amazing.
So which date is Elvis? The 5th?
Elvis is the 5th, don't forget Elvis.
So our disco is when? The 12th.
The 12th. We need it on a Friday.
12th of December.
It's Friday the 12th. It's 12th Friday.
Yeah.
Right. Okay then. So £5 a ticket, and obviously you've got your DJ, and we'll have a few surprises sorted out, and all profits go towards the campaign, which is lovely. And you'll be seeing more fundraising as time goes on. But again, we need more volunteers because we can't do it all ourselves, can we? But in a minute, we are up to £1,246. And have we got anything to pay in? We'll have some to pay in from tonight.
To pay in.
Yeah. So bear in mind, it's not just what we pay the money into that fundraising when we make money. So it's not just about people donating on the fundraising. And this QR code's all about if anybody does want to fundraise or give us some money. Have I said everything on that page? Oh, brilliant.
So the GoFundMe page, it's a way of, if you want to donate more than, if you want to offer more to the campaign, rather than just buy the t-shirts, etc., you can go on there. But there's also some important information on the GoFundMe page. So you'll see QR codes on your table. So if you go onto that web page, it sets out what the campaign fund is for. So principally, it's to build up effectively a war chest to challenge this legally. Because we think, and if you've watched the last campaign meeting, and a lot of you are already here, we don't think the money's been spent in the right way. We believe that the money was awarded by the government to turn the grammar school into a shared use facility that would be shared between the community, small businesses and leisure uses. And at the moment, the plans are to hand it largely to Derbyshire County Council. And we've got a statement from the MP later explaining the position on that. The intention is that all the funds will be overlooked by 3 trustees that are not either of us. So we've got 3 trustees that will look after what's called a community interest company. And on the website, you will find out there's 5 things we're looking to achieve. So those 5 things are based upon all the discussions Melissa's had in her pet shop. It's all the discussions we've had at campaign meetings, and it's all the chatter we've had on social media. So the 5 things are, number 1, community, and get a community interest company that manages and rents the building. And the government talked about this last week and said it should be local communities managing buildings in their local communities. So we're doing exactly what the government's asking us to do. Secondly, it's got to be viable. There's got to be no tax liability placed on the taxpayer, so it's got to be able to wash its face. Thirdly, free. We think a percentage of the parking spaces in the new car park, you might have noticed there's a new car park with a ticket machine. We think there's got to be a percentage of those that every day are free 1-hour shoppers car parking spaces. And the income that is generated from those car parking machines needs to go back into the grammar, not into Amber Valley's general pots. The lease, we think there's got to be a new approach to the lease proposals. So the current proposals are to lease the building to Derbyshire County Council. We believe that's wrong. We believe that because 151 businesses expressed interest in renting space in the building, they should be given the opportunity to rent some of those spaces, which is the final and 5th point, which is fair. There are spaces in there that are available that a selection of the 151 businesses should be able to give them the opportunity not only to view, but to rent. We think the way that should work is that the spaces should be advertised for a minimum of 4 weeks. Viewings should be open to those businesses. Now, some of those 151 businesses might have already found other places to go, but a lot of those businesses, like one of them's a hairdresser, wants to move into that room on the 1st floor, you know, with all the windows and a nice view of the church. That could be a brilliant hair salon. We'd expect applications for spaces to be assessed against both financial and social criteria. So we deliver the concept of a shared community, leisure and business enterprise space. Now, Derbyshire County Council are currently lined up to take on the building, but there's 151 people that were in the queue before them. So we think it's only fair that those 151 businesses are given the opportunity. They're asked again, are you still interested in space? If so, what space? Then Amber Valley Borough Council say these are the rental charges. And Derbyshire County Council can join that queue. They could be number 152. But we think it's only fair, transparent and consistent with public procurement rules that process is followed.
You can see why he's got this bit, can't you?
I hand over to Melissa now for, well, you've covered your old school disco bit.
That's the fun bit. I do the fun bit.
So, in terms of what we hope to achieve, we understand that the grammar must pay its way. But as I've said, we know over 150 businesses have expressed interest in it. And those businesses are small businesses, a lot of them, and they need to be given a fair chance to rent space. A lot of those are businesses that could create the first truly accessible facilities in the town centre. So Dawn is one of the, where's Dawn gone? Dawn, one of the business owners, spoke quite passionately. And maybe at the end of the meeting, I've got time, Dawn can maybe take the stage and tell us what you wanted to do with the space that you wanted to do. But Heanor is very inaccessible to people who have got sort of physical limitations, maybe in a wheelchair, etc., visual impairments. And there's a massive opportunity with the college to do something brilliant. I've covered the parking spaces. But the car parking spaces is really important because it will be vital in terms of pulling more people into the town centre, getting people to visit a little more often and spending a little bit more. It's one of the top things people have always said is that there's no free parking in the town centre. Yes, there's free parking in Wilmot Street, but there's not free parking right bang on the doorstep of the marketplace. Melissa, I'm handing back to you at this point.
Drama. Just while we're on this, so they're the things that we think we need to ask for. Is it anything from you lot? Any other things? Oh, I did it wrong way now, love. Come on. Come on. There you go. Dale.
I've got 3 questions. I think I'll start off as a local resident of the community, this grassroots movement, is challenging to fight
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. It's been totes the mosh, hasn't it? Not enough, clearly. Not had a drink bought me yet.
I understand you mentioned the fundraising target, so I understand the fundraising target £1,000
Yeah.
for the reason, for this reason, so I wish to wait is so supporters, it has determined not yet an actionable plan to get there. That in mind, that is there a deadline by which £6,000 target is reached? Now, would I pass the answer or not pass
I can maybe answer that. So just for the benefit of people watching at home, the question was around the crowdfund campaign and raising the £6,000. So there's a lot of information on the crowdfund website that sets out what we're intending to use that war chest for. In terms of how we got to the £6,000 figure, basically went onto the internet and looked at the average hourly cost of a barrister and looked at how much it would cost for a week's worth of advice. Now, I'm seeing a few shaking heads. We're open to suggestions and ideas, but we needed to start somewhere. So, oh, is there a deadline? No, but I mean, we're quite surprised that we've got to 21% in 5 weeks. So we didn't expect to be at 21%. So is there a deadline? No. It's really just as well. It comes down to whether the community want to pursue this or not.
Second part is once the funds are raised, then that's
Sorry, I didn't catch that last bit.
Is there a date?
Yeah.
To say Derbyshire County Council or release
We don't know. So the question from the back for the people at home was, is there a date by which any people leasing the building might move in? We don't know the answer to that question. All we understand is the executive decision has been made and approved by the scrutiny committee that the building will be leased to Derbyshire County Council.
We've had rumours. Do you want a rumour?
No.
as an old manager.
Do you want a rumour? I don't know. You decide if you want a rumour.
Well, I wouldn't say it unless it was a proper rumour. So this is what we've been hearing, that they ain't moving in Derbyshire County Council till January. and that's because they think that we're all going to go away. But we're not, because we've got a school disco in December, so we still look forward to Christmas. I'm going to come to you in just a minute because she can really help us. And then, yeah, go. So,
I don't feel rumours, and I feel, and then our manager used to tell me the F in fog, which is facts of things using letters.
yes, I agree with you. However, when people who work in these buildings that are coming to the grammar have been told things.
So does that give us a deadline?
Well, potentially. Yes.
Maybe, but I haven't finished the movie yet.
No.
I haven't even finished. Anyway, so the Mercy House, as we know, their lease runs out. So they are yesterday. So they are having to move out sometime in October, but the lease is actually yesterday. They're moving to Shawstart at Cotmanay in the meantime. So again, it's not been confirmed, and I like to work on facts as well with my background. However, I wouldn't even bring this up or waste my breath if I didn't think it was a solid contact. And I've had a lot of whistleblowers phoning me in that shop left, right and centre. So again, it's not from one source, it's from multiple sources. So I think that is, again, I have no proof, but you ain't going to get any, are you? Because like I said to the communications officer of Amber Valley today, we need more information because we've not had nothing. And we get told one day that we have an old scrutiny meeting about the fact that Derbyshire's moving in, and then 2 days later we get told that they've not signed a lease. So we're as confused as everybody. So maybe if we'd been given some proper information, we probably wouldn't have had so many rumours. But that's just my thought on it. Back to Stephanie.
Have you got a further question?
Yeah, that's still a question.
All right. Well, can we just hold the questions to the end?
Yeah,
We-
Well, the main questions are at the end. What I put it out to is if anybody got any more ideas of what we need to ask for. That's all right.
So we are going to have a question and answer session at the end. Should have pointed out at the start of the meeting, there's post-its and pens. If you don't feel comfortable asking a question, if you just want to scribble down your comments on a post-it, we'll just pass it to one of us and we'll ask it on your behalf. So can I come back to you at the end for more questions? But in answer to your question, but your point about when's it got to be spent by, essentially what we're trying to do is just challenge this decision. So at the end of the day, we don't know what the trajectory of the crowdfunding is going to be. It might plateau out at 21% and we might only make 25%. I mean, it's basically gone like that, and now it's sort of flattened a bit.
Do you mind if I just finish that?
Yeah,
You
go
can
on.
do, yes.
The last part of that question
We set that out on the crowdfunding page. It's all on the crowdfunding page.
It's quite a
Yeah.
lot of information on
There's a
it.
huge amount of information that we put onto the crowdfunding page because we don't have the money to set up a website. So that's why I say to people, we say to people, go onto the crowdfunding page, not necessarily to donate, but because it's given us a free platform where we can communicate all this information. Yeah, if you just Google GoFundMe Heanor Grammar,
It'll come
you'll
up.
find it, and it's also on that big poster.
And I think
Obviously, we're not working on negatives because, believe me, we're going to win this. But obviously, if worst comes to worst, Dale, then that money will go towards us lobbying Parliament as a town because of what's happened to us and our treatment to Parliament to actually get some positiveness about Heanor, that we've actually tried to change some laws. And we've always, I doubt that anybody, we won't be in this state if we'd have had a bit more regulation around it. So while we're talking about that, I just want to, this lady had her hand up, and I know she can help us with some bits. What did you want to ask for? Do you want that?
Not necessarily. I can shout.
Oh no, use it, because people need to hear. It's interesting that we've got some borough councillors here. Could you just show me where you are? Could you tell the masses which committees that you sit on, please? Okay. You sit on the streets committee. Nobody sits on the planning committee.
We used to. We get quite often each year down to move around. Last year I was
Would it be fair to say that none of the decisions that are made by Borough Council are made by the officers at the council, the employees? They all come from committee and then they are implemented by the officers. Is that correct?
If there's a planning one, you'll get the officer's recommendations. And we used to listen to that when I was on it. We used to listen to it. We have what's called pre-meetings, and we discuss what's going on the planning stuff. And if it's not the what's it called, the people that come on board, tell us, like the police, education, they've all got an input. And there is a name for it, but I do forget what that name is.
We'll call them professional advisors.
Well, they come in and they say they're with the police and all that. And if they don't object, it's virtually impossible for a council to object, because the official sort of advice that's been given from the council is taken on board, and if there's no objection to that planning, what do we object on? It might be somebody saying, that's all right, but between me, it's, you know, my house might collapse if they build one next door. You know, that don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter. And even for green belt to some degree, it's got an argument on.
Yeah. So the direction I'm going in with the questioning is that the original decision to renovate the grammar school
Yes.
would have been a major planning project that presumably went to planning committee, and how to fund that probably went through a committee as well. So would it be the councillors with advice from the staff at the borough council?
Went to full council. The decision went to full council. So the planning application went to planning committee.
And also, I think has got a sheet that's actually the original
Application.
that was put in.
Yeah. I've got the original application.
So you've got a copy of so the decision is taken at full council level.
To
Yeah.
accept the grant.
Yeah.
Step back,
Yeah.
the decision is taken for the actual renovation, and then how they're going to fund it, we will make an application to central government for a grant. Yeah?
Yes.
Have you seen a copy of that application?
The
Yes or no?
Yes.
Have you got
Years
a
ago,
copy?
but it was.
You got a full copy
Yes.
of that?
So what I've got had eyes on, because Trevor will tell you, we're missing 5 key documents, and we still can't get them. Can
Under
you,
the Freedom
Trevor?
of Information Act.
We've
you
tried,
are-
we've done that. I mean,
Well-
we do them every day. I mean, but yeah, we've got to go above it. But obviously, we have to wait 20 days, which is a month, every time we do it. But what I've got is I've got the pre-application. So they had to get another 100 grand's worth of money to put the application together for the Future High Street Fund. So I've got that. So basically that was the first document, official document, that went to Future High Street Fund with what they wanted that money for. So that's what I've got.
Okay.
In fact, the councils have got it because I put it on a Google Doc and sent it back to them.
So, going from that point then, so the reasons that the grant was sought
Yeah.
were set out in this huge document, and presumably something then came back from whoever is granting the money,
Yeah.
central government or
Yeah.
wherever, to say, based upon your application
Yeah,
and this box, and this box that we are ticking,
yeah,
we are going to award however much it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have that document?
No. We tried.
Because central government's not just going to say, there you are, there's a bag full of money. Then
Well,
they're
no.
going to they're going
And this
to
is our point.
respond in writing first of all.
But they think that they have. I mean, we've obviously questioned them on this scrutiny. A big part of scrutiny was questioning them on it because we were all saying we think you're in danger of having this grant taken back, and they were adamant that they've not done anything wrong whatsoever.
Who's they?
Simon Gladwin, Chief Executive, Lee Gardner, Monitoring Officer, Chris Emmis Williams, didn't really have to say much because his minions did.
So
But
he's leading
basically,
council.
yeah, he's a
Trevor,
leader
have you had
council.
any success finding those missing paper? That missing
Sorry,
paper?
I really want money in.
Have you had any success in finding that paperwork?
I've only had the one come back over on the rent that we thought Derbyshire County Council might be paying, and it said on there that Derbyshire County Council have not yet signed any lease. So therefore, they can't tell me what the lease would have been. Rent.
So we're going round in
It's
circles.
financially
You're
embarrassing.
jumping ahead.
Financially,
If you want to take
not
legal
to say what
action,
you
Yeah.
you've got to have some evidence.
But at some
Yeah.
point, that's
It's
got
no
to be
good
public.
saying, we've heard, we think, we know, so-and-so said.
Well, we have got quite a lot of evidence.
You've got to have it in writing, and the first point of all, I am pretty sure, is going to be, what was that application based upon?
Yeah,
And if it's for the community of Heanor,
yeah, which it is. It was. Yeah,
well, you know,
Yeah.
this is what we hear, but
yeah,
I've not seen it.
yeah,
But if that's what it was based upon,
yeah,
and that was the reason that the money was given in the first place,
yeah,
and now they have shifted the goalpost and are changing it to be another local authority going in there,
Yeah.
or a county authority,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. But it's not for the local businesses
Yeah.
because Derbyshire County Council is not in Heanor presently.
Yeah.
It's up at the Kremlin, over at Alfreton, wherever else it might be.
yeah.
So that's the core that you've got to get those before you even entertain legals.
Yeah.
I can put you in touch with somebody who will be able to put you in touch with a barrister. I told you, well, we
We
were
have-
involved in something, it was at least £8.
Well, in answer to your question, I think one of the challenges we've got is we're sending so many Freedom of Information Act requests. What we could do is if there's a volunteer here that would be willing to submit a Freedom of Information Act request on behalf of this group, asking for the grant applications and any grant documentation back from MHCLG, that would be really appreciated.
Well, if you
So-
can't get it from Amber Valley, go to those who just
MHCLG.
sent it out from the central government.
Well, we
Yeah,
have.
we'll do that.
We have been doing that, haven't we? We've been
We'll try
we've
again.
contacted the Future High Street Fund. We've also
We've
contacted
them.
the
Yeah.
Minister of Communities, and we've heard back, haven't we, Chris, from them today? And basically, the Department of Communities and Housing,
MHCLG,
yes,
so called.
have basically said we're handing it back to Amber Valley, and that was it. So obviously, you've got Labour handing it back to Labour. So again, another. Want it, Chris? I mean, we can read it out, but it'll be. We'll share it.
I'll show a copy of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll show you a copy of it.
yeah. So we have heard back from them, but we haven't
But you
heard
haven't
back.
actually got what you want. You're just getting a fob off.
We're getting fob off. Well, that's all we've ever done for 40 years.
It's difficult to get hold of the information. But we know
Chris.
from being involved, a lot of us that have been involved in this project for about 10 years know that the grant was submitted for this shared use concept. That was the whole premise behind it. So we know that was behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there is-
They wouldn't have got the money to purchase and regenerate the college to turn it into a council offices because it wouldn't have met the future high streets and levelling up funding requirements.
Enterprise grant or anything.
There is a mechanism called pre-action disclosure.
Right.
You make an application for that, again, I'm not a solicitor, but there is that mechanism, and whether or not it's something that could be explored.
Yeah,
And then if they don't give it willingly,
yeah.
the court will make them give it to you.
Well, that's the position we're at. We
So-
can't, Trevor can't get anything, and he's a borough councillor. So we're at that position now.
I think that's the microphone going.
Is battery going, Andy?
Oh,
Did that chap back
One job, Andy. One job. Chris, what was you saying now? Yeah.
So we got a letter this morning, actually, coincidentally, from the High Streets in Kent, asking back to Lakewood.
Yeah.
The other thing, as Lindsay Farnsworth, unfortunately she's not here to answer, I have sent 2 emails so far to our Member of Parliament, Lindsay Farnsworth. Now, she is representing us in Parliament.
Yeah.
Now, surely that application will be somewhere in the archives of Parliament voting. Somewhere, I do not know where that is. I am determined to find where that is. I have asked Lindsay Farnsworth twice, and she has not replied to this request. But I would like to see the original document. We had at the last meeting, there was a colleague said he'd seen, I don't know what it was himself over there, had seen it in the Heanor Library. So surely there should be an archive of that document somewhere, and it should be in a public library, technically. I don't think it is, but it should be. It should be publicly accessible to everyone. I have put in several requests for this document. I have not received a single reply. Funny that.
Well,
Have you tried to email it? A guy called Matt Allwood?
No.
Right? I can get his email address, Lindsay Farnsworth, right hand man.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he's also been spying on the campaign
Right.
site, and he's already had a volunteer. But feel free to contact him.
I think we need to see this document, and none of us have seen this document.
No.
What's the document you're actually, sorry, what's the document you're actually looking for?
The original application.
The original application,
Yeah.
right. So,
That's all we need. Because we need to know.
I'm sure as a council, the Heanor Town Council, I'm sure we could probably apply to look at that.
Brilliant, good. Because as I say, I agree with this lady.
Yeah.
Until we've seen this document, I don't think.
Well, we could, Tony, but am I right in thinking that on the agenda for tomorrow's night's meeting, the grammar isn't even on the agenda?
No, unfortunately it's not, because I didn't know you were looking for that particular document. If we knew that you were looking for that particular
Well,
document.
again, I'd argue, Tony, I mean, really, 40, the biggest thing to happen in our town for 40 years, and it's not even on the agenda.
Well,
It should be on every agenda moving forward, and it should have been on every agenda for the last couple of years.
Sorry, I can sort that.
well, okay, so can we
True
perhaps
story.
can we just move on a bit, because just a few things, because I'm conscious of time, and we did say we're going to do the Q&A.
Yeah.
I mean, at the last town council meeting, our new independent controlled town council voted to take control of the grammar from Amber Valley Borough Council. And we were looking forward to an update on this at the monthly town council meeting that is tomorrow, 7 o'clock at the town hall in Heanor. So the town council voted to take ownership of the building of Amber Valley Borough Council, so it could be returned back to the community, so the community could be involved in managing it. Whilst it's not on the agenda, hopefully it will be covered in the mayor's announcements. So hopefully we'll get a bit of an update.
There's a document there in front of you.
Yeah.
That's the original email that was sent to Amber Valley.
Right. I've got
So
to-
Tony just gave us this early, so obviously we're not had a proper read this, but
Okay.
we'll read it out.
You've got the original email that was sent. It
Right.
wasn't just the grammar that you were looking to take over, it was stepping stones and all that, not all community assets. We were looking to take over, and we got a very
Right.
short paragraph.
I'm going to say you have had a
so-
response to that, though, haven't
right,
you?
okay,
And what
so-
was the response from Amber
Well, shall
Valley?
I read it out?
Basically, no.
So the town council wants to take ownership of this. On the 1st of October, there's an email, a letter here from Simon Gladwin, Chief Executive, saying the Borough Council will not enter into negotiations with Heanor and Oscar Town Council on the transfer of any assets listed within your email, and one of those was the grammar. Now, what's happened is, last week, I don't know if anybody was watching, is it called Good Morning Britain or
For
Good
God's
Morning
sake,
TV?
I mean, that's just rude. I mean, that was
Um,
my career for 21 years. I don't even know what it's called.
Or Good Morning Breakfast TV, whatever it is on ITV.
Jesus Christ, I'm embarrassed.
Now, Angela
It was
Rayner-
on the telly. It was on the
Angela
telly.
Rayner, who was the Secretary of State for Housing, Communities and Local Government, stepped down, and she was replaced by somebody called Steve Reed. Now, Steve Reed is obviously an MP, but the government made an announcement last week to the effect of, and he's obviously a senior politician in Westminster, he was saying things like, he was talking about buildings like the Grammar, effectively, and saying the government was introducing something called community right to buy. So he was talking about, effectively, he could have been talking about this campaign.
Yeah.
The one thing we think the government's got to introduce is it's got to complement community right to buy, which is what effectively the town council were talking about, by community right to manage and community right to respect, because the community are not getting a decent amount of respect from elected representatives in many instances, present company accepted. But if we had community right to buy, if the asset was transferred to Heanor and Luscombe Town Council, the grammar school proposals could really fly. So there was something I was going to say at the end of the meeting, but I think it would be brilliant for us to invite Steve Reed, who's Secretary of State covering these sorts of projects, to our 5th of November meeting. So we had a vote at the last meeting about inviting our MP to this meeting, and I've got a statement for our MP in a moment. Do we all agree we should invite Steve Reed MP to our meeting on the 5th of November? If you're in favour, would you like to raise your hands?
Right. Facebook Live in.
So
We're raising hands.
that
Unanimous, I think
not
we can
unanimous,
say.
but it's definitely carried. So we'll write to Steve Reed MP tomorrow, and we'll also write to Lindsay Farnsworth.
Again.
So we've got a statement from Lindsay Farnsworth. So it's quite a large statement, but she said, "Thank you for inviting me to the meeting.
I'll have a good Dad.
Unfortunately, it will not be possible on this occasion, as I will be out of the country on parliamentary business. Please accept my apologies." And she's attached a statement. Now that statement's an A4 letter. It's on the Team Heanor and Luscombe Facebook page now. We posted it at 7 o'clock. So it's there if you want to read the MP's statement. But hopefully, 5th of November, we will invite Steve Reed here and our MP to tell us why we can't do the things we're talking about when the government is saying this campaign is the sort of thing the Labour government wants to see happen across the country.
Maria.
Two things. Could we also send a letter to the Shadow Secretary of State, since that's from a different party entirely?
Yes.
And can we also perhaps email Good Morning Britain
Yes.
and ask them if they were prepared to talk to some
Well, we have.
with town councillors
Thanks, Paul.
on the piece that they did last week.
Yeah, well, when obviously it broke about what the government was doing, I obviously offered the grammar as the perfect case study. So they do know about it and pushing it, as you can imagine. But yes, I'll push it again. But yeah, things are happening in the press. It's just getting the timing right of it. They're getting their ducks in a row. Obviously, we've got to get our ducks in a row. But in the meantime, they're very interested. Have you heard anything, Dawn, yet? Dawn always knows everything.
I know about
You heard anything?
rain coming on
You heard
Friday.
anything from Beam?
Not yet.
No.
No phone call.
No. They're quite interested in Dawn's story, the fact that there's no access for, like Steph was saying, disabled people to open businesses in the whole of Heanor apart from that. So that's just up their street.
I did have a... Oh, sorry.
Just ask a question.
Yeah.
What is the ultimate aim of this group? Is it to keep the grammar school for the local community, or is it to fight for the rest of the country? Because I think you've got different
goals going on here, and they're getting somewhat muddled, and I think you need to decide what your primary aim is.
Sorry, why do you think we want to fight for the rest of the country?
Because you want to lobby the government, and you want
Lobby in Parliament for regulation because we've not got none.
but that's fighting for the country. That's not fighting for the grammar
Because
school.
unfortunately, what's happening here is happening in most towns.
But that's not
Yeah,
the
but
point I'm making.
yeah.
What is most important? Is it to protect the grammar?
Yes,
If you want to
100%.
Well,
What I'm
well,
saying
well,
is, if the crowdfunding money does not get used, then it will go towards that.
But you've got to decide what your primary goal is. And if your
A primary goal is the grammar.
The primary goal is, as we've set out on our on the crowdfund website, it's got 5 objectives on
It's
there,
all on there.
and it's basically to pause, to stop the current proposals to lease the building to Derbyshire County Council and say, hang on a minute, the money was awarded by the government to regenerate that grammar school into a shared community, leisure and business hub. That was it. That is still, there's still a banner outside the college saying coming soon, the grammar. It doesn't say coming soon Derbyshire County Council, so that is our goal.
And that was my understanding, but it seems to be meandering off to be more of a national thing, which is not. So then you get
Only
blurred lines.
Minister, if I could
And I
just.
think, if you want to protect the grammar,
Yeah.
you've got to focus on getting the evidence. As I said,
Yeah,
you've got
okay.
application.
I think that's a fair comment, so thank you.
Because no lawyer is going to be able to do anything without
Yeah.
the evidence.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been working very hard. There's only 4 or 5 of us that in the core, and and all we've ever had for 4 or 5 years when we've been working on similar things to the grammar, but not as big, is we've just had dead end after dead end after dead end. We can't get anywhere. We're banging our head against a brick wall.
I think one of the things at the moment is we're fighting this. However, we're also noticing that the next village are fighting the same. The next town are fighting it.
That could be a splinter group.
And that's it. So if we can get it right here, then we can show other people.
Yeah.
With my disabilities, and there's multiple, I'm not the only person in the wheel who's disabled in the village. Let's have Little Britain. I'm not the only disabled person here. However, having the grammar school accessible, and the bit of the grammar school that the community are being given, which is on Lindsay Farnworth's thing, is the baby grammar. Now, if you've ever worked in a building and the rest of your colleagues are upstairs, but there's no lift, they're having a party up there, they're singing happy birthday and eating cake. I'm the only person on the ground floor hearing all that, listening to it, seeing the crumbs of the cake on the shirts when they come back down, but I'm left downstairs. And on Lindsay Farnsworth's thing that she's just put out, it says the community have got the baby grammar. Okay? So I am still a wheelchair user that can't get up to that party. Now, if you've ever seen a child sitting there who's gluten-free, sitting at a birthday party, everyone else is eating pizza, what have they got? That's not inclusion. I'm still excluded. Now, we've got everybody in our town. We have all races and everybody, and everyone is included. And they can all get up to that party. You know what, I'm already fat enough, but I'd like a piece of that birthday cake.
There's a lift in the new building.
There is a lift in the main building.
Yeah.
However, in the baby grammar that Lindsay Farnsworth has said the community will have access to, so you've got the main building,
Yeah.
and at the back of that there is a small building next to the fire station, which is called the baby grammar.
Yeah.
That's the building that the community are going to get to use as a main facility for independent businesses. There is no lift, and as far as I'm aware, there might not even be a disabled accessible toilet, which we should have.
Tell them about the when you went to look round.
When I went to look round in the main building, there is no evac chair. So they haven't sorted out full disabled access in the main building. At the moment, they spoke about car parking a second ago. Car parking is amazing. Yeah, loads and loads of car parking spaces. At the moment, the public can use those car parking spaces. If you've got a blue badge and any disability where you can use your blue badge, there is no disabled spaces at the moment because there's a great big gate that is locked. I mean, I don't drive, I use the bus. But those parking spaces are right next to the blood bank. So you can go in your blood. Perfect spaces, they're locked. So there is no new access. And yeah, I want to open a business and I want to run it from there because it's close to town. I want to go to that party as well. The baby grammar is not going to work for the business that I want to run. And like they've said later, I can go into that. But if they're going to run something from upstairs, like a dance school, I want to watch my children and my niece and nephew. I want to watch them at that dance school. And I want to go up and watch them. Not sit downstairs and wait till they're finished and all the other parents are celebrating and clapping. I want the same opportunities as everyone else. And if me fighting in Heanor, because I know you're saying about a national campaign, it's not about a national campaign, but if we can show people in other parts of the country that this community really want access, we want what we're given, then that's what we should receive.
Oh yeah, I agree. So success, breeds success.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But the focus has to be on what's most important at the moment.
So the grammar is our main priority.
Yes.
However, showing other communities that we're doing it here will empower them as well. So yes, our priority needs to be the grammar.
Yes.
And the baby grammar.
Yeah.
And accessible parking.
Well, it's...
Pardon?
Is anybody actually doing the baby grammar?
No, the baby grammar, when everybody was able to look around, was being used for storage.
You have to.
Because there is no lift, I've asked, so when I went, I asked them what is in the baby grammar, what is the accessibility. There is no lift. There is no lift. There is not going to be a lift. There is no plan for a lift in the baby grammar. There is just going to be the lift and accessibility in the main building. So there is no lift planned. There has no lift ever been planned in the baby grammar. Yeah, I was just answering the question and keeping it on.
All right, Trevor. That's this half the problem.
Sorry, let me just.
Is a plan actually been drawn up for the baby grammar?
The baby grammar is complete.
Is it complete?
It is complete with all of the alterations that are going to be done. So there is no lift. We are waiting for information about disabled facilities and toilets and things like that. There is also no changing places facility in the whole grammar.
And also,
Yeah, no, I know, that's
No, I see. The only person in the room that has seen inside it is John. Isn't it, John? We've
No,
not seen inside it.
There's no changing places.
John. What? So, do you want to tell us what's in the baby grammar? Upstairs and downstairs. Yeah, okay. So it's one big room at the minute, and what about downstairs? Right, so he's just been upstairs. So yeah, John has been in, but we're not the wiser really. And it's not really that big. It's not really going to fit 151
Okay, right, it's coming up to 8 o'clock, so we need to start summing up. So before we do, I think we've had some really valid comments.
Hold on, we're not done yet.
Sorry,
We're not done yet.
we can't hear. Sorry, we'll be finished in a couple of minutes. So the solution seems to be for Amber Valley Borough Council, ideally, to hand the asset to the Town Council, because that seems aligned to what the government are saying. Secondly, for the Town Council in partnership with a community interest company to advertise the available spaces to those people that the grant was intended to provide spaces for. Thirdly, give people like Dawn the chance to bring the brilliant grammar school project to life. Because the world is very different if you're in a wheelchair. It's completely different. And finally, Dawn used the analogy of a cake. If Derbyshire County Council is part of the cake, then that's great. But at the moment, Amber Valley are looking to give Derbyshire County Council effectively the cake and leave the community with the crumbs. And that's not aligned with the original bid. So, to just draw this to a close, are there any further questions from the floor? Anybody want to answer?
Yeah.
Lady at the back, just bring over the mic to you. No guarantees we can answer them.
No one's even noticed I have my teeth done. Have you? No! Just read.
Have you thought about producing your own business plan? Get in touch with these 101 people, working out how much the moves will cost and everything, and presenting that to the council, because then it gives you more strength with what you're trying to do, because you can say this will work. Because as you know, it's got to pay for itself.
I think that's a brilliant idea. And if Amber Valley Borough Council are watching, we would love to do that, but because the 151 businesses gave their business details to Amber Valley Borough Council, we're not allowed to know anything other than there are 151 businesses that expressed interest. So hopefully, maybe by this video, they might get in touch with us.
But on Facebook, you can ask, you can sort of like ask and say,
That's a good, yeah.
and do it that way. There is also a twin to Heanor Grammar School, which is Long Eaton Grammar School, which was bought by a business, and it's Mohan Business something like that.
I went to school at Long Eaton Grammar. Now, Long Eaton Grammar is a perfect version of how this should work. Now, the bottom line is, it's a commercial business, it's working, it is full, and someone, I haven't got the time to be honest, someone ought to make some inquiries, because it is less than 10 miles away. And it is a working model, it's a listed building, identical to here, and it's an example of how it should work.
Well, that's brilliant, yeah. We've not heard about that, so thank you. We'll make some inquiries.
I think the key thing was there, we need a volunteer. Right, anybody else got any questions? Dale, sorry, Dale had a question.
Just wait for the mic one sec, Dale, for the people at home.
Well, I think most of my question too has been asked by others. We're glad to know what was might feel this way around what the plan was for the movement and how he was going to kind of enact that. I will draw one of the points out of that question though, which is, as I mentioned at the previous meeting here, now that the restoration works are complete.
Hold on a minute.
Now that the restoration works are complete, and there are no units included in that, how would you propose to rectify this? So, if it was to say go to Heanor and Gloucester Town Council and then a CIC, whether it be you, anyone who came up with the Town Council meeting, that we will know our outcomes about that, and I think it should stay under control of the people that voted for the elected members, so I think it should be wholly community held. But how would we go about getting that rectified? How would you put business?
How would we get it rectified, as in what way? Sorry, I don't
Well, it's not about putting 150 businesses.
Right, well, okay, yes, I get your point. So you're not going to get 151 businesses in there, but what we're saying is over a year ago, Amber Valley Borough Council had a public consultation exercise and said, if you're a local business, or you're a business wanting to move into the town, we want to hear from you. Please come along to Charles Hill Centre and we will show you the spaces available. 151 businesses took the time and effort, mine included, Dawn's included, to go along. Now, you're not going to get 151 businesses in there, but none of them were contacted subsequently, from what we know. So the idea is that you advertise the spaces that are available with a mark. Can I finish answering the question?
Yeah, but you're not answering the question. So the question was, how will you rectify it?
I don't understand your question then.
Is everyone going to share one space?
No, it's a shared space concept.
Then how would you make those spaces?
Because it's a building with different rooms and spaces.
The money's done. It's done.
I don't. Right. Any other questions? Because I'm sort of a bit confused, and we're getting to 8:10.
Thank you. Well, let me just, my last question then.
Right. So there's other people who do want to ask questions, and you've had a fair few.
Well, I did say 3 and you didn't allow it. I mean,
Okay.
you're not allocating questions.
No, I'm not that. No, don't make this personal.
Well, I'm not.
If anybody wants to leave, it has done 8 o'clock. So if everyone's happy to stop, we're happy to stop.
So my next question was, it's more of a statement question, is I'd like to raise the concerns that have been mentioned by some of the members of this community, this movement, this group. You've seen it on Facebook, I've heard it in person, around the social media posts that are connected with this campaign. There's a feeling amongst some of the people that the posts may risk alienating certain groups within the community, as well as elected members, and that this could create division rather than bringing people together. Could I ask how the campaign intends to address and ensure this message helps to unite the community behind this cause?
Right, so I think that what Dale's getting to is obviously this building's been converted in a certain way, and if we're going to get businesses in, we're going to have to reconvert it. But is that what you meant? Yes. So, yeah, I understand that, but I'd say it's not really our problem, is it? I mean, they've spent that money, they're going to have to put it back, aren't they?
Hang on, no, hold on. We're missing the point here. Right, seriously, we're missing the point here.
Right,
So it's a list.
we're all on the same side.
It's a listed building, and it's got planning permission to be converted into what it's being converted into. If you go into the building, it's got segmented spaces. I was one of the businesses that went along with Dawn to view the spaces. There are small ones, there are big ones, there are even bigger ones. And you were asked to put your name down on the size of space you wanted. And then you're going to be told what the rent was. Those spaces still exist. Now, if you wanted to be a car mechanic, it wasn't the right building for you. I'm not a car mechanic. But one of the tower rooms was suitable for my business. Dawn found one of the rooms downstairs suitable for her business. So that still exists. This is not about changing the walls. The walls were fixed as part of the listed building consent. So you need to go back to the planning application, and that will give you your answers, David. Yes, it's on the portal. You've got your dad used to be on planning committee. It's all there.
Are you happy? Right, so Eddie, go on, and then I'll answer the social media shizzle. I think it's only right now I answer that.
I think the point that this lady made here that regarding the business plan is very valid. At the end of the day, if you want this to be successful, you've got to come forward with a plan. Paul, come over there and crack a few jokes, shall we? If you want this to be successful, you're going to have to come up with a business plan that is viable and workable. Otherwise, it's just going to get laughed out of court. Now, at the moment, we're talking about what rents we're going to charge. How do we know what rents are going to be charged when we don't know what expenditure is going to be faced? So the business plan needs to start at the other end and work out known costs so that we can then start to get a basis together for what the rental would need to be. Yeah, but then you know you're looking at utility costs and things like that. You know, so you need to, yeah. So there's a lot of work to do with that before you even start to talk to people about rents. Otherwise, you know, it might look very good on paper, but if you're not covering your costs, it's not going to work, is it?
We have heard that a year before completion, 80% of costs were covered a year before completion. It was covered by the amount of businesses that wanted to go in there. Did you have anything more on it?
No, again, I would echo what the lady said here, which is you've got 151 businesses. You may have more. Now you may have that, it will have changed. But get out and need to start advertising it pronto and getting expressions of interest again.
How do we do that? Yeah, but we don't like all that they'll laugh
Can't
at us
advertise.
because we have it. It's pie in the sky in a minute. Because what are we offering people?
Melissa,
Cashier?
the chap at the back had the question, and then
Yeah, you know
finally
what I mean,
Trevor.
though, Eddie. Like they'll just laugh us out because we don't own the building.
Right, the chap in the,
Well, there's no
the
re-sign,
purple
but
t-shirt
you know
in the
what I
back,
mean.
and then I think we've got final question from Trevor.
Who was
This guy.
Chris?
Yeah, Chris.
Sure.
Okay, Trevor had a question.
Trevor?
Yes, you know, the paperweight that we've... I definitely agree with this. In all the paperweight that we've all received up to now, that it states categorically that the space that will be allocated for public use will be the main hall and one meeting room. That's what it states. So you know what you're going to get.
Well, this is what we're challenging. Okay, so on that note, if there are no other further questions...
No, there was further questions, and also...
Where are the further questions?
Right, well, Dale had one last question. Dale said the
okay.
social media question. But on what Eddie was saying, and what you two were saying, perfect, great. But, again, I will appeal for more help. Because we are absolutely slammed. Me and Stefan run our own businesses 6 days a week. And the amount that we have achieved is... we're doing well, I think. However, we're absolutely slammed and we are getting some help, and that is all wonderful. But like I've said about 10 times during this meeting, we ain't doing this for our pleasure. It ain't fun. We're doing it because it needs to be done, because it's wrong what they've done to us, and everybody's just going along and saying that everything is all right. It is not all right, and unless people start helping us, we will get nowhere. And if we want to address the social media, what was the question about that? How can we unite when we're all separate? Is that the kind of question?
Well, that's a question for our politicians, I think, more than us. Well,
Right.
Because you get no answers, that brings the original...
Right, Dale, that's one opinion and I'm happy to listen to it. However, what you are seeing, a lot of that is not coming from Team Ian Alaska. It's not. If you have a look at all social media on Spotted, a lot of this is not coming from us. Right? If we have got truth to say, I will say it. I'm not afraid to say it. In fact, if more people spoke the truth in this town, like I've said, we would not be where we are today. And that is the truth. So I will not stop speaking the truth. However, other people are saying other things on social media that is nothing to do with us. So I'd be quite appreciative if we actually draw a line in what's actually coming from me and coming from Team in Alaska, and actually is coming from other sources. We have not done a quarter of the social media. We've probably been the biggest voice. However, other people in this room have done plenty of social media as well. And that's what I would say to that. Do you want me to tell you, Mal? No, I don't think you do.
Let's finish on a positive. So we're going to draw this meeting to a close. So sorry we're 15 minutes over schedule, but can we say a huge thank you to all of you coming this evening, but also a huge thank you to the club for hosting us again this evening, and I think the bar's still open for drinks. So thank you.